Hey guys, just thought I'd send you a little message. I have a book here called You'll Get Through This by Max Lucado, and I wanted to just kind of read you part of it, okay? She had a tremble to her, the inner tremble you could feel with just a hand on your shoulder. I saw her in a grocery store, had not seen her in some months. I asked about her kids and husband, and when I did, her eyes watered, her chin quivered, and the story spilled out. He'd left her. After 20 years of marriage, 3 kids and a dozen moves, gone. Traded her in for a younger model. She did her best to maintain her composure, but couldn't. The grocery store produce section became a sanctuary of sorts. Right there between the tomatoes and the heads of lettuce, she wept. And we prayed. And then I said, "You'll get through this. It won't be painless. It won't be quick. But God will use this mess for good. In the meantime, don't be foolish or naive, but don't despair either. With God's help, you will get through this." 2 days later, a friend called. He'd just been fired. The dismissal was his fault. He'd made stupid, inappropriate remarks at work. Crude, offensive statements. His boss kicked him out. Now he's a 57-year-old unemployed manager in a rotten economy. He feels terrible and sounds worse. Wife's angry. Kids are confused. He needed assurance, and so I gave it. You'll get through this. It won't be painless. It won't be quick. But God will use this mess for good. And in the meantime, don't be foolish or naive, but don't despair either. With God's help, you will get through this. Then there's a teenager I met at the cafe where she works. She's fresh out of high school, hoping to get into college next month. Her life, as it turns out, hasn't been easy. When she was 6 years old, her parents divorced. When she was 15, they remarried, only to divorce again a few months later. Recently, her parents told her to choose, live with mom or live with dad. She got misty-eyed as she described their announcement. I didn't have a chance to tell her this, but if I see her again, you can bet your sweet September I'm going to look her square in the eyes and say, "You will get through this. It won't be painless. It won't be quick. But God will use this mess for good. In the meantime, don't be foolish or naive, but don't be desperate either. With God's help, you will get through this." So 3 times, Max Lucado says these lines. You'll get through this. It won't be painless. It won't be quick, but God will use this mess for good. In the meantime, don't be foolish or naive, but don't despair either. With God's help, you will get through this. I want you to think about each sentence one at a time. What is most comforting or encouraging to you? Which, if any, do you wish Max hadn't included, and why? Max offers these words of assurance to 3 people in diverse situations. A woman with 3 children whose husband has left her, a middle-aged man fired for offensive comments, and a teenager forced to choose between her mother and father. How would you summarize in one sentence the difficult situation you face right now, or one you've faced in the past? And Max tells us 3 things not to do. He says, which are the negative words below can you relate to the most, and which represents the greatest temptation for you now, or which is the most characteristic of you when you're in a difficult situation? And those words, he tells us, are foolish, naive, despairing. You know, right now is a difficult time. There's a lot of uncertainty in our world. We don't know when we're going to get back to church. We don't know when life is going to return to normal. All we can do is be there for each other, in whatever ways we can do that with social distancing. We can pray for each other. God is there. God is with us. Like my shirt says, faith can move mountains. I just want you to know how much I missed you all, and that I'm thinking about you and praying for you. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at our worship service. A little bit about that. We'll be doing Facebook Live for the service. And so if you are tuning in to that Facebook Live, it would be great for us to know how many of you are watching the video. So if you would comment, like it, something along those lines, that would be great so that we can tell who's there. And then the video will be posted to Facebook after it's done being live, and then the YouTube channel and our website. All of those things will happen as soon as we can. And then on Monday, if you regularly attend my Lenten Bible study, I invite you to tune in or catch up later with a video with that. Will you pray with me? Dear Lord, you know all things that we are dealing with right now. You know there are things that are happening beyond our control. Help us to accept what we can't change. Help us to turn our worries into prayers and to keep our eyes fixed on you. Help us to give you our stresses, disappointments, frustrations, and sadness so that we can receive your peace. We know that it is with your help we will get through this. Amen.